We are indeed living in very interesting times. The Democrats will fail to define what is a woman, and then they are quick to advocate for a woman to become the president of the United States. Where is this incessant drive to push for a female to be selected to run the United States of America and in proxy the whole world coming from? We know that in 2016, Donald Trump put a spanner into this plan, but now we are clear that Kamala Harris is poised to become the next United States president. Who is Kamala Harris? Who is potentially becoming the United States president? Who is behind her meteoric rise in politics? Let us discover this driving force that is bound to affect and impact every human being on earth. Subscribe to our channel, Committee Guru Ethics, and comment and leave your comments so that we can at least know what you think. Yes, Kamala Harris is poised to become politically the most powerful person according to what we hear in the news, and she is garnering for black votes. Who are her parents? Is it true that Kamala Harris is not an African American? We know from images and all other researches that we have done, you can see Kamala Harris here with her Indian mother, and that her father was known as Donald Harris, who came from Jamaica, and her mother, Shaimlana Gopalan, came from India in 1958, and they met in the United States in the civil rights movement. That Kamala's religion is Hinduism is very clear from the images and from her association and links with her grandparents. From her book, The Truths We Hold, she clearly demonstrated that her mother was accepted and welcomed in the black community. And because of that, she is associated with melanin-dominant human beings. But she is of Indian origin, and spiritually she is also of Hindu religion. She is depicted here as a goddess slaying her enemies. One of her enemies has already fallen, and the other one is about to be slain and to fall. Her name, Kamala, comes from the Sanskrit word lotus power. And we know the lotus is associated with ancient mysteries. Prayers to the Hindu gods for Kamala were made when she became vice president. And they continue to be made today for her to succeed to become the president of the United States of America. Also, on the other hand, we know that there will be a Hindu in the White House no matter which party wins, because the vice president who was selected to run with Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, is married also to an Indian who follows the Hindu religion. Usha Chilukuri Vance, a lawyer, is of Hindu belief systems. She has already proved and shown the power of her beliefs in the gods, in her gods, because Trump's vice president pick credits his Hindu wife for helping with him becoming a running mate and the support of the gods for him to become probably the vice president of the United States of America. So Kamala Harris, being a Hindu, comes from a spiritual system that supports the caste society in which melanin-dominant human beings are at the bottom. You can read our book, Free from God. It will demonstrate comprehensively this matter. Hinduism supports apartheid. And the question then is, where is Kamala Harris in all this? We shall find out shortly. On her father's side, we know that Kamala Harris' father came from Jamaica. According to him, his paternal mother or paternal grandmother, Missy Krishi, was a melanin-dominant human being. But one of their greatest ancestors, Hamilton Brown, who was an Ulster Scott plantation slave owner, is known to have owned over 124 slaves. Is it mere coincidence that Kamala Harris descended from this slave owner who ran a Jamaican plantation and fought against the abolition of this abhorrent trade, as claimed by historians? Started the Center for the Study of the Legacies of British Slave Ownership. Kamala Harris' ancestor was a slave owner in Jamaica, and this is the evidence. Donald Harris, in the Jamaican Global Online, he clearly demonstrated that his roots go back within his lifetime to his paternal grandmother, Miss Christie, nee Christiana Brown, descendant of Hamilton Brown, who is on record as a plantation and slave owner and founder of Brownstown. Therefore, Kamala Harris' parentage is clearly melanin dominant, yes, but mixed with European and Indian Aryan, and she is an Aryan mulatto type. Very interesting indeed, because these are the people that orchestrate the caste system in India. So, once we know that this Kamala Harris identifies as melanin dominant but can jail black men for possession of weed and even withhold evidence that will eventually cost some of our people's time and lives, we realize and understand that she is from the Hindu caste system, whereby those of darker hue are considered lower caste. That's the Hindu system. So she's a mulatto and Indian and Asian, but with a melanin dominant tint in her blood. Because of that, she will become, and she projected to become, the first black and Asian American woman to be the president of the United States and defeating Donald Trump. Even the survey results are already showing that she is 57 points ahead with the black vote, because melanin dominant people think she is one of them. They are correct partly, but they are not 100% correct in thinking and in considering who is behind her meteoric rise and how she rose to the positions that she is and who she supports and obeys. Kamala Harris also lived in Canada from ages 6 to 18 until she went to the United States for college. Basically, all her formative years she lived only with her Indian mother in Canada, who influenced her and taught her Hinduism. That's straightforward. And then she came to the States and has made every effort to parrot that she grew up in Auckland, even saying she was part of and influenced by the Panthers when she made this claim on Breakfast Club interview. Why did she say she grew up in Auckland? Why does she campaign without telling the truth that she is of Hindu religion and that she grew up in Canada? And why does the media become silent on many of the matters that surround her? She also has this aspect of connecting with strong men. When she was 29 years, she became a friend to one of the most powerful San Francisco politician, Willie Brown, who was 60 years old, double her age. And this Willie Brown had a lot of influence and a lot of power, was able to appoint her to 2 lucrative positions. He admitted in having extramarital affairs with Kamala Harris, as reported in Fox News on the 27th of 2019. And this makes it very easy for Kamala Harris to associate and link with those people that work against melanin dominant human beings, though she is also melanin dominant herself. And now, someone has put a big dream in her mind, in her brain, because in 1845, Kamala's Jamaican great-grandfather Hamilton Brown is a rich Jamaican plantation owner with 124 slaves, and they fought against the abolition of slavery. And even when it was abolished, she went to Ireland and obtained Irish slaves, white Irish slaves. Now Kamala wants to be the chief commander and the president of the United States to install a system that will eventually make her the master of hundreds of slaves and hundreds of millions of slaves like her grandfather. And also to make America the leader in fulfilling the ambition of a certain force. Yes, Kamala can make history, can become the first woman of African American South Asian ancestry to become the president of the United States, but she will only be there to be a servant of the force that is driving the current social changes in America, a key project of ending the power of the United States and democracy, and install a system that will make sure that the secret forces behind the scene will manifest and start to implement their agenda. As we can see here, Kamala Harris in Masonic imagery in her tweet, a checkerboard with the 2 columns and her legs make up the compass and the pyramid. And she soon will be called Madam President, because Trump the elections may not win the elections, will not win the election if our interpretation of where Kamala Harris comes from is correct. But it's politics. Because the end of America, as we know it, is on hand. What they did to Donald Trump in 2020, where Joe Biden never campaigned, and because of COVID, and because of mailing ballots, it is clear that they can also play a game in that way so that they can have a madam president, as their goal was in 2016, other than them being stopped by Trump. It's a game. So when Trump and MAGA are thinking that they're going to win, Biden has said, I don't know what the clue about the power of women in America, and the MAGA is about to find out. So the Freemasons and the Declaration of Independence, as well, out of chaos they shall create their order, makes it clear when we ask the question, who is Kamala Harris, potential United States president? She is a selected individual who has been selected by the secret rulers of the world to become the chief executive officer of the United States and proxy of the whole earth, to compete also against another one, so that it gives us a semblance that in America there is democracy. While this America is corporate organization that is managed and run by a selected CEO who follows orders. That's why you find that when Kamala Harris was made the border czar to protect influx of immigrants and registered immigrants, in May 2020, only 23,000 entered America. In May 2021, only about 108. And that was about 674% increase. And all that Kamala can do when she's asked about this is also to laugh. So what can you do in the face of this anywhere in the world where you are manipulated to vote for selected individuals who were selected by secret societies who are ushering in a new world order? Can you vote, for instance, in America, can you vote for Kamala? Can you vote for Donald Trump? Your vote is useless. It gives you only that psychological feeling you have choice. But candidates have already been pre-selected by those who control the earth and the powerful lobbyists that have got a lot of money. And therefore, our ancestors told us that the gods will return from earth to heaven. Hamid will be forsaken, and the land which was once the home of religion will be left desolate, benefit of the presence of the deities. O Africa, Africa, of thy religion nothing will remain, but an empty tale, which thine own children in time to come will not believe. Our brothers are Christians, our brothers are Muslims, our brothers are Jews. They are following politics, they are following the super PACs, they are following the lower fourth dimension forces who are controlling this world. They won't believe when you tell them about the pyramids in Hamid. They won't believe in the hieroglyphics, in the messages that our ancestors left, because they will say these are graven images and only the stones will tell their piety. Stones will indicate that we used to be great. And so the gods will depart from mankind. A grievous thing, and only evil angels will remain, who will mingle with men and drive the poor wretches into all manner of reckless crime, into wars and robberies and frauds and all things hostile to the nature of the soul. What can you do? You have to rediscover and activate the sublime power and sublime nature of the soul. How can you do that? You can enroll in our Bantu Foundations training course, so that at the end of the day, all your questions, all your desires, all these forces will find you prepared. After you have enrolled in Bantu Foundation University, you go to our website shown here, and also to the knowledge, go to the Dropbox, go to Bantu University and this portal, and you can register and you can join this journey and create a unique future for yourself through Bantu Foundations and proceed to succeed in combating these forces. This is your choice, as we have already indicated. Your manager to be Priest Rabbi LM Jakanja says, subscribe to our channel, Hamid Hebrew Ethics, like our videos, ring the notification bell, leave a comment, and let us walk this journey together to defeat these negative forces through the power and influence of active applied knowledge, connected to our ancestors, connected to our divinities, and connected with the unknowable real creator who is beyond the chasm. Amen.